All right, good afternoon, 8th graders. This is our video on adding and subtracting numbers that are in scientific notation. This can be page 13 in your notes. And we have a little example here. So your directions are going to say add or subtract. And you notice on the right here, the addition problem, your numbers are already in scientific notation. So you need to add or subtract those, and then after you add or subtract them, you're going to have to change your answer to be in scientific notation. So on our example here, we're already having converted each of these numbers to standard notation from scientific notation. So the 7 and 8 tenths times 10 to the negative third, that becomes 78 10,000ths because we moved the decimal left 3 times. And similar thing with the number on the right. So this is the long way of doing adding and subtracting numbers in scientific notation. And after we do it the long way, we're going to show an easy way that's a lot quicker, and you'll see how it works because of the long way. Okay, so we've converted these to standard notation. Now we're going to add them. So the way we add them, just like we always have, we go ahead and line up at the decimals. And then we just add, make sure we carry that one. Bring down the decimal, we add or subtract. And then to write this as scientific notation, we're going to have to move our decimal right 3 times. Oh, wait a second. And if we move our decimal right, that makes the exponent negative. So now after we've done it the long way, we're going to talk about the short method. So short method is going to involve 3 steps. Now, one important idea here is that in order for the short method to work, you have to have the same exponents. So if you look at our example here, the exponents are both negative 3, and the numbers are written in scientific notation. When we add and subtract, the short method only works if that is the situation. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to add or subtract your coefficients. Now the coefficients are the numbers that are to the left of that multiplication sign. So coefficients, we add or subtract those. So if you would have done that, you would have gotten 8.4. You notice, look, our answer here is 8.4. So 7 and 8 tenths plus 1 and 6 tenths would get us 8 and 4 tenths. So you add or subtract the coefficients, write them down. Okay, then you're going to put a multiplication sign, and then you're going to put your 10. Now, you need to you keep the same power. You keep the same exponent. So that's going to be our 10 to the negative 3 right here. If this happened to be a number that wasn't in scientific notation, when you're done, you have to convert it to scientific notation. And in our example right now, we don't have it. We will, though, in our problem right here on number 1. So let's do that together, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about on number 3. Okay, so our first step, we notice this is a subtraction problem. The exponents are the same, so these are the same. Because they're the same, we can do our short method. So step 1, we add or subtract the coefficients, the 4.5 and the 4.3. So if we subtract that, we get a positive 0 and 2 tenths. Our second step, we keep the power with the same exponent. So times 10 to the 7th. Now this is where our third step comes in. This is not in scientific notation, so we have to make it be in scientific notation. In order for that to happen, we need to move the decimal to the right once. So that makes it 2. And if we move the decimal to the right once, that makes a negative go in the exponent. So we're going to minus 1 from the exponent, and that's going to be our answer, 2 and 10 to the 6th. Okay, you're going to do 2 on your own. That'll be our check, okay? So if you're still not getting it, we'll do 3 and 4 together, and then try to go back and do 2. All right, number 3, first step, add or subtract our coefficients. When we do 1 and 5/10 minus 6, we're going to need to subtract, but the 6 is bigger, so our answer is going to be negative. And you'd get 4 and 5/10. If you put that in your calculator, you'd see that. Same thing here. We're going to keep exactly the same exponent on the times 10. Now, we don't need to do step 3 because this is already in scientific notation. The coefficient, the 4 and 5/10, that can be negative. So just keep that. We're pretty much done. It's really simple from here. Okay, now our third example, we're going to have a string of a subtraction and addition. Now, all of this we can use our short method because all of these are 733. If those were not all 733 exponents, we couldn't do this. And we will in the future do some problems where those won't be the same, and we'll show you how you can make it so that they are the same. Then you can use the short method. Now, we want to do this addition or subtraction probably just on our calculator. So I'm going to pull mine up. So 3 3/10 minus 4 and 5/10 plus 9 equals 7 and 8/10. Okay. Now again, we just keep the same power with the same exponent, just like this. And that's it. This is already in scientific notation, so we don't have to convert anything. And that's our answer. All right, so do number 2 on your own. If you need some help, raise your hand, and I'll come around and help you. All right, see you guys tomorrow.